VP Vocal Creative. How you doing? I'm hoping you are keeping great. So today I just want to talk about how to find time to write. This is a question that keeps nagging at so many of us. We believe we really don't have enough time, or even just the time to get our writing done. So there's a saying that says that if you want something done, ask a busy person. I totally agree with this because the number of times I've gotten stuff done is when I have been extremely busy. If I have so much time in my hands, then I just procrastinate, and I don't get anything done. So I have a few tips here on how to find time to write. I hope you'll find it useful. Number one, be a master of your time and energy. We've all been given 24 hours in a day. How do you spend yours? You need to ask yourself, when do you have the most energy? Are you a morning person? Are you an evening person? Then make sure you maximize on that. If you're an evening person and you still, feel like you have energy to work after a hard day of work, then go right ahead, switch off that TV and get that writing in. If you're a morning person, how about considering waking up an hour or an hour and a half earlier than usual and just get your writing done? You will surprise yourself just to how much energy or how much writing you will get done in that time. Also check out for time stealers throughout the day. Example, if you're working full-time, how about eating lunch as you write? Or if you're on the commute and you don't drive, why not get some writing done during that time? I guess it all boils down to how badly do you want to achieve or get to your writing goals. Number two, plan ahead. A lot of the procrastinating we do is because we haven't prepared for what we're coming to write that day. And so you find that your brain is working against your effort. But imagine a situation where you set up, after when you finish writing what you're writing for this day, you make sure you've set up the next 2 scenes that you're coming to work on the next day. This way, your brain somehow just doesn't feel like it's coming to work so hard. It's not feeling threatened, and you'll find that you have an easier time easing into your work. And also be careful about staying away from your project for too long. Like I speak from real life example. For instance, if you're working on something and then you stay away from it for a whole month, trust you me, when you come back to it, it's such a hard process trying to remember everything. Where was I with these characters? Where was I with this story? And it just eats up into so much of your time and energy. So plan accordingly. Don't spend a lot of time away from your project. Number 3, batch your work. Now, depending on the nature of your current main hustle, it might be easier for you to write in the mornings, in the evenings, or on the weekends. But for some of us, there's a possibility that you could actually work on your main hustle 3 to 4 days a week. And then why not consider spending the rest of the days of the week working on your writing, your passion projects? So consider this and see what works best for you. If batching your work works best for you, then go right ahead. Number 4, we're still talking about how to find time to write. Number 4, set aside time for research. Now, don't do your research during your writing time. From experience, I found that the minute I just key in a Google search, I end up going on some rabbit hole, and before I know it, like an hour is done. So I'd encourage you to set aside time for research. So as you're writing, don't do any research. You will come back and do that research later. All right. Number 5, refill your well. You might find that you're having a slower time writing, or you're not motivated to write because you're running on empty. Reading and writing go hand in hand. So make sure you're refilling that creative well. Read up stuff, watch stuff. Just make sure you're refilling your well. so that you're not running on empty. If you're looking for a place where you can get scripts to read, you can check out free scripts to read at simplyscripts.com. Simplyscripts.com. Number 6, set deadlines and honor them. Now, there are times that even self-motivating yourself might not work. So one of the things I do is I check out for online competitions. So I check the deadline and then I work on my project towards that deadline. And I found that way I'm able to beat some deadlines. And sometimes if there's, say, no writing competition that intrigues me, what I do is I talk to some of my peers, my friends, and I place a bet with them. I'm like, okay, I'm trying to get to this number of word count or this number of pages. If I'm not done by this date, then I owe you something. And then they say what they want. And one time, one of my friends asked for some glowing powder that costs 5G. 5G's Kenyan shillings. And I was just like, that's ridiculous. I'm not going to buy a powder for 5K. It's glowing. If it's glowing, that means I want to buy for myself as well. And that means 10,000 shillings on some glowing powder. And let me tell you, I whacked myself and I didn't buy anyone any glowing powder. So those are some of the things that you might want to, use just to get yourself there. And finally, number 7, be gentle on yourself. I found that sometimes when I put too much pressure on myself, I end up dropping some balls. So I remember to occasionally be gentle on myself. But this doesn't mean that I slack off and I just, take it easy and what have we. But it's just allowing myself and understanding the fact that there's different seasons of life. So you might be going through a season of life where you're not really able to be at your 100%, and that's totally okay. So being gentle on yourself helps you ride and tide through some of these seasons, and then when you're ready, you come back and beat those deadlines. Well, I hope these pointers have helped you get back on your writing track. Most important thing to remember is when you want something bad enough, you will make sacrifices here and there to get to your goals. I wish you nothing but the best in your writing. Happy writing. I'll see you next time.